Hey, Cooter! Joe! Check this out. There's anywhere but here, man, on this here podcast.
Oh, I like me some podcasts, man.
What y'all talking about?
We're talking about anywhere but here.
What's anywhere but here? Anywhere but here in Mississippi?
No, man, anywhere but here over in England.
Hey, we ain't in England.
I know, but that's where the England's from.
What?
Hey, Cletus, remember when we went and saw that movie about the wars in the stars and they had like lightsabers and stuff like that? Well, these people here talk about things we like.
Really?
I guarantee.
Well, hot diggity damn. What we waiting for?
Anywhere but here podcast.
Hello and welcome back to Anywhere But Here. This is episode 77. We're in a bit of a fluster because the dog just decided to break through the door.
I can't remember the last time we opened an episode where we weren't both grinning like idiots.
I know. He's an arsehole. The sooner that pod gets finished, the better. That's what I say.
Yes, and I agree.
Yeah, it's getting there. It's being insulated. I'm about to start putting the inside walls up.
So we won't be freezing our nuts off.
No, it looks like the set of a 70s space opera type show.
With all the silver panelling on the walls.
Looks like a low-budget sci-fi show. Looks awesome.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm Tom.
And I'm Ant.
And that was Blue, who you didn't hear on the beginning of the show, thankfully.
So, if well, you can find us. I know you're listening to us already, but there are alternatives if you're not happy with your podcatcher that you're using at the minute. So you can find us on iTunes. You can find us on Stitcher. Mm-hmm. You can find us on Android Pocket Cast. I know it costs money, but it's really, really good.
Yeah, apparently so.
And Podcast Land. Don't forget to visit our page over there. You can listen there, I believe, and you can also vote.
Yes, upvoting us gets us onto the main page, opens us up to new people, new audiences.
Yes, we will knock I don't know what's his name. Kevin Smith off the top spot.
Yeah,
it's not usually him, but I can't remember the other ones.
There's that other guy from E, isn't there?
Yeah, I can't remember
his name
anyway,
either.
done the Man Show.
Yeah.
He's not that good.
No.
So yeah, you can find us all those places and listen to us. And
the dog has properly thrown us out.
Hasn't he?
Oh, we should have just.
Makes for a more interesting opener.
Yeah. Oh, excitement. You can go to you can support us. One of the best ways you can support us and our affiliated shows by visiting abhpod.com.
Yes.
Where there is an Amazon banner up in the top right-hand corner, and we hit you over the head with this every single week, but it does work.
It does.
Some people do buy stuff through the Amazon banner, and for every, for the whole of your purchase, we get 5% of what you spend. It doesn't cost you any more. You don't have to sign up to any mailing services, because let's face it, you're already signed up to Amazon. Everyone's already signed up to Amazon.
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah. Sorry.
I wasn't
you do
sure
that.
whether to go on.
No, that's fine. Where do we go? Yeah, and you can interact with us if you like over at facebook.com.
Mm-hmm.
Facebook.com. That sounded really wrong when I said it. Facebook.com/ABH pod. Yes. We can never remember that one.
It's you can also find us at ABH pod on Twitter as well. You can email us if you don't want to be quite as open and social, or if you want to get in touch with us with more than 140 characters worth of information, you can get hold of us at abhpod@gmail.com.
That is correct. And I believe, is that it? No, youtube.com/ABH podcast. That's the different one.
That's the one.
Because someone had
different.
ABH pod. And we say it every week. Something's going to change over on YouTube.
Yes.
When we can get around to doing it. I think.
There are changes for this show in the offing. I'm thinking it should be for episode 100.
Yeah, I think we should just
far off now.
Everything. Yeah, this
We're going to do
77.
we're effectively going to do a rebrand, aren't we?
Yeah, should we do it for 100 or 101? I think we should preview stuff on 100.
Maybe. Yeah. Fair
and
enough.
then have the relaunch at 101.
Yeah.
That seems fair.
And then that's a show closer to the year.
Yeah.
Again, I like the fact that we do these little podcast meetings on air.
Yeah. We never talk. We don't talk outside of the podcast. The only talking we do is, have you got stuff? Yeah. All right, cool. Are we at yours? Yeah. Oh, well.
That's good. But yeah, so we had a pre-recorded episode last week because we were doing Shiptie in Transit, I believe.
Yeah, Shiptie in Transit. That did go out.
Yes.
I think people seem to like it.
They did, yeah. It's got some decent comments and stuff on the social networks.
Yeah, I'm really glad that Bobby P, Pod Pal Hero, found a picture of that girl. The mummified girl posted it on Facebook, and there was loads of comments. So every time I went on Facebook, it was top of my newsfeed. Like, fuck off, I don't want to see it. It's
that's
creepy.
a very good point. Actually, one of his friends,
of course,
I didn't have it open. I had it open earlier on. One of his friends actually had been there.
Yes.
And had seen Rosalia Lombardo's mummified remains.
Yeah, I can't remember who she was, because it was just a picture that he posted. He didn't post it in any context, did he?
No, that's right.
It was his personal
Her
Facebook
name was
page.
Trish Mayo.
Oh my God. Don't pull it up again.
No, it's fine. I mean, she bought some postcards, and she posted pictures of the postcards that she got from from there. And there's some pretty...
I haven't actually seen those.
Interesting. I mean, there's some pretty interesting pictures of
the old Admiral.
Yeah.
The skeletal
like,
Admiral.
Napoleon.
But yeah, so I mean, if you don't know what we're talking about, obviously go over to abhpod.com and click on the Shiptie in Transit, and you can subscribe via through iTunes on there, or Stitcher.
Yes.
And go and listen to that episode. I was quite happy with it. It was quite good. It was a long time coming, wasn't it?
It was a very long time coming. And interestingly, I recorded one yesterday with Stephen from The History of Misunderstanding.
I'm looking forward to hearing that one.
So we've got a third episode down, and I'm going to edit the fuck out of that, because I think my part, I don't know, I'm not sure.
There's a few syncing issues because it was over the internet, so there's big gaps where you're waiting for each other to reply.
I've got to tighten it up, make it sound a little bit more natural, but also Stephen was so eloquent.
Yeah.
And had got so much research together.
Oh, really?
I kind of struggled a little bit with mine, actually, I'm going to be honest.
We sounded like amateurs.
Yeah, well, not even that. Like, he did so much research.
Oh, okay.
Like, it put mine to shame. So I've got to really edit mine together to sound a little bit more...
yeah. On that Shiptie in Transit, actually.
Yes.
There was a thing you were talking about the phrase "let them eat cake."
Yes.
And you said, "Oh, I'm going to try and do the French."
I did.
And I'm probably going to destroy it. And I was like, "Oh, okay, I've kind of been studying French on and off, so I might be able to." And you said it, and I went, "Oh, yeah, that sounds French." You know, that sounds French. It was totally wrong. And the most annoying thing, it was about eating. And I've actually been covering the verb, like, to eat.
I see.
I'm going to silence my iPad. I've been covering the verb to eat in French.
Right.
And it's like... So I knew it was wrong, and I can't remember how you put it, but the actual correct pronunciation, and this is where my training...
Well, I'd have said qu'il magnon de la brioche.
It's qu'il mange de la brioche.
Qu'il mange.
Yeah.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah, that's the thing, you don't pronounce the ENT, and that's just... That verb, to eat, has got 5 or 6 variations, depending on singular you, plural you.
Oh, yeah.
We,
this is
us,
why I didn't
ours,
take French. And you know why you thought it was okay? It's because I said it with a slight French accent.
Exactly. And brioche, I said was a pastry, and you just went along with it. It's not, it's a sweet bread.
Yeah. Yeah. It's...
Yeah, so anyway, that's just the thing. I wanted to pull myself up on that. Like, fair enough, you didn't know because you don't study French. Where I've been doing it in my own time, and I should be taking pride in it.
And you did say that you'd correct me, and you didn't. So
yes, because it sounded right to me. On the subject of corrections, actually,
right?
Paul, enthusiasm Paul.
Yes.
He wasn't happy with us.
He wasn't, especially me.
Well, it was both of us because we stated that Final Fantasy VIII was our favourite Final Fantasy.
Yeah, he wasn't happy about that.
He said it was shit, and he challenged me to go back and play it. So I brought it on Steam.
What,
and I'm gonna
Final Fantasy VIII?
Yes. And I'm going to play it again.
Okay. Well, we'll have an update in about 5 months.
And who knows, I say it every week. I might capture it and put it on YouTube. I say it every week.
Yeah.
We're going to try it. But I am looking forward to playing it. I did start it up just to see how it ran on my laptop yesterday. And I got excited just at the opener.
Yeah. The battle between Cloud and... Squall and...
Cypher.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my God. It's so good.
Yeah. It's the best one. I'm sorry, mate. Sorry, Paul, but
a lot of people say it's a simpler story.
I like it though.
Yeah, I think it's really good.
It's great, and he did point out the fact that there was that Irvine character.
He's the fighter, isn't he?
No, he's the one with the gun.
Yes.
And he is 2-dimensional and shit. He's my least favourite, and I never used to play him in my groups.
No.
But he's the only character I've got issue with.
Yeah.
Really, I liked Zell because Zell is
Zell's the fighter, the blonde, bouncy fighter.
He's got that typical kind of, he's the feisty one, a lot like
He's the
Barrett.
comedic. He's the comic relief.
Yeah, a lot like Barrett is in Final Fantasy VII, the kind of hot-headed.
Barrett was awesome.
Yeah.
Anyway, we're not getting back into
We're
that
not
again.
getting
We
back
did
into
get a
that.
lot of
Yeah,
good
yeah.
feedback on that, actually.
We
People
did,
enjoyed it.
people did enjoy
Robbie emailed us, actually, and just said there was a lot of nostalgic value to it, and he's sure that other people enjoyed it as much as he did. There were a few other glaring errors. The fact that you said Streets of Rage 2 was the... Was it Streets of Rage 2 was the one where you could call in car support?
Yeah, apparently it's the only one where you can't.
It's the only one you can't do that with.
I don't know. It's been fucking 20 years.
But that's the thing. We're not people that go back very often and play retro games.
I don't do retro games.
I mean,
I've got my memory, and my memory is shot to pieces, as everyone can tell.
And I said Zelda: A Link to the Past was the third Zelda. Was the second Zelda game. It was actually the third.
Yeah.
It was the second one I played.
Yeah.
I didn't play number 2. I have no idea what that is. It's I can't even remember what it's called. The Legend of Link or something, or Story of Link. The Adventures of Link.
Exactly. We're not retro. We don't go back and revisit
I remember
these games.
it. I remember it fondly.
As a child.
There's a couple of numbers wrong.
Yeah.
A couple of details wrong.
Give us a
well.
break.
So
we got a shout out as well from Jake Calland. He said that we'd triggered a massive nostalgia trip for him with that gaming episode too. So that was quite good.
Yeah,
that's what we're aiming for. It's nostalgia. It's not fact.
Yeah. Robbie said he wants us to cover games a lot more.
Yeah, it's something that along with music as well that we've been told that we should do more of, and it's probably something we should not revisit a lot.
Or just like maybe every week have a segment when we talk about game or music or film, something like that.
Rotate it per week.
I watched a couple of films in the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, I've watched some interesting things in the last few weeks as well. The one that's really stuck out in my mind was Ghost Rider 2: Spirit of Vengeance.
I haven't even seen Ghost Rider 1.
See, I stayed away from it because I didn't know anything really about Ghost Rider, but then that hasn't stopped me watching stuff like Thor.
Right.
And Thor was great, but I caught it. Someone brought it into work one day, and I watched. It was on during my lunch hour, and I thought, actually, this isn't too bad. So I went and bought it, and I really enjoyed the first one. It's a bit of fun.
Yeah.
I don't know much about Ghost Rider, so I don't know how blasphemous it is. It probably is quite. But Ghost Rider 2 is fucking awful. It's dire. It looks like it's been filmed on that camera.
Yeah. Hey.
No, I meant like compared to like a Red.
That camera's good for its purpose. I know.
It did me brilliant on my 3 Peaks challenge, which there's an update about.
Oh, awesome. You can talk about.
Yes, I can.
Oh, awesome.
Because it's all been resolved.
Brilliant.
But yeah, it just looks like it's been filmed on a kind of handy
vlog camera. Vlog camera, yeah.
And it's just shit. It was really bad.
Really?
Really bad.
I'll avoid it then.
Nick Cage overdoes it.
Yeah.
Ridiculously. The effects are rubbish. It's just really cheap looking.
Yeah.
And it's a shame because it's got Idris Elba in. And I like Idris Elba. And that's a shit Idris Elba film.
It is one of those things where you got good actors or actor. Yeah. And unfortunately, they can only do so much with what they're given.
Yeah.
Unfortunately. True. I watched more recently last night, Liz and I sat down and watched... That was grammatically correct.
Wasn't it? Yes.
Liz and I sat down to watch the 2013 version of Carrie.
Oh, right, yeah, with...
I didn't realise there was
Grace-Moretz.
a 2002 remake as well.
Was there?
Yeah, apparently. Because when I searched for it on Netflix, there was 3.
Oh.
There was the original, there was one in 2002, and then there's the 2013.
I'm aware of that as well.
Chloe Grace Moretz. And, it's now... It is a teen horror, teen thriller film. It didn't have the...
Did it not have the supernatural...
Yeah, no, it did, but it was done in the style of a teen horror film. It felt...
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, it was... I mean, I enjoyed it. It's great if you like those sorts of horror slasher. It was more like a slasher than a horror, actually, yeah. Julianne Moore was creepy as fuck as her mum.
I like
that character. Moore. Yeah, Julianne Moore. Like I said to Liz, I was like, it's really weird because Julianne Moore is a really attractive woman, but in that film, she's not. I think she's got one of those looks where with just a little bit either side, she can become horrible or stunning. Yeah. She's got one of those and Chloe Grace Moretz, when she was acting, when she was speaking, she was really good. But when she was playing the shy and retiring kind of I didn't buy it. She looked like someone that was trying to be introverted.
Right, okay.
Rather than coming across as introverted.
Yeah.
And her supernatural hand movements were a bit forced. But there's only so much you can do. There's only so much you can do with that, though, isn't there?
I suppose.
But on the whole, it was good.
Yeah,
it's worth
I'm trying
a watch
to think back
if you can't think of anything else to watch.
Trying to think back to Kick-Ass 2, because she's got that thing where she's trying not to be Hit Girl, and I'm wondering whether that looked forced. But I didn't really like that film either.
No.
The first one was miles better.
I haven't even seen those. This
really
was the
good,
first film I've seen her in.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like for half the film, she doesn't say much.
Right.
But then she starts coming out of her shell and talking to people, and it's like she's actually quite a good actress.
Oh, yeah, she's a brilliant actress.
Yeah.
She's great. But, yeah.
Yeah, and I watched, last week, we watched Lovelace. I told you about that last week, didn't I? Yeah. Amanda Seyfried, eh? Who knew? So
I still haven't had a look at any of it yet.
You should look at it.
Maybe I should, yeah.
I mean, watch the film while you're there as well. No, that, actually, I really enjoyed that. And like you said, you've heard it's one-sided, which, it's based on her autobiography.
Based mainly on her accounts, and there are accounts from other people within the industry on the films that she worked on who said that she was a bit of what would you call it? A habitual liar.
Oh, really?
Like, she just would, she would fabricate things and over-egg situations and stuff like that.
But if she was in the situation that this film portrays, then she would do that.
No, totally, yeah.
So it is a difficult thing, and like I said, the publisher, in the film it shows that she said that the publishers told her to take a, what I say, lie detector, I can't remember the actual word for it. Echograph? No, that's the wrong word. Anyway.
Yeah.
One of those. A lie detector. Yeah. She was told to take that to check her facts, and she passed it apparently.
Yeah.
Is it a stenographer, the guy who does it?
Yeah, I think it is, but I can't think of the actual... Why has that word gone
fact
from my
check.
head?
It did for me because I'm trying to think of it. I've been trying to think of it. Anyway, but the film itself, I actually really enjoyed. I thought it was really well done. Like, it's well made, the first half.
Yeah.
And then they go back and the first half shows what happens, like on the surface, and then they kind of go back over it and show what actually happened in that situation. So it's really... Yeah, I really enjoyed the way it was made, and I thought it was a pretty good film. Right. And Amanda Seyfried.
Fair play.
Has boobs.
Apparently so.
And I sent a 3-word review to...
did you?
To Weekly Geek Speak about the film, yeah. So...
I can only imagine what it
along
is.
Those lines, you just got to try and figure out the 3 word.
We went to see Jersey Boys.
Oh, you did?
Yes, the Clint Eastwood directed musical. Not two things, not two kind of a name and a genre that don't really go hand in hand.
No.
It's really good. It's all right. It seems to focus a little bit more on the kind of gangstery side of the Four Seasons, where they were all kind of in the they were kind of loosely associated with the mafia in some respects from when they were growing up in New Jersey.
Kind of like the Frank Sinatra group.
Yeah,
I can't remember what they're called.
One of the Rat Pack.
The Rat Pack, kind of Rat Pack style.
One of the mob bosses, played by Christopher Walken in the film. It's great.
Christopher Walken, whatever character he plays, is Christopher Walken.
Oh, he does all that stuff where he's like, and there's intonations all over the place. And he has some connection to Sinatra, so he was the go-to guy for these guys who wanted to get out of New Jersey.
Oh, so they were linked.
Yeah,
okay.
In a way.
I suppose because the Rat Pack were in part of the mafia.
Yeah, and they were kind of New York-based, whereas Frankie Valli and the Four Seasons were kind of New Jersey, so not far away. But yeah, like, there's some really, really good songs in there. I knew more Four Seasons songs than I realised.
Yeah. They're not songs that you would really associate with mafia, though, are they?
No, Walk Like a Man and stuff like that, yeah. Big girls don't cry. And he's got this really weird falsetto voice, which is strange, but it works.
I love it for that's
for that sound.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was really interesting. In the way that the characters break the fourth wall. I've not seen the stage play, but I assume that happens.
I think it is like I think that it is them telling the story.
Yeah, but the only one who didn't speak for the whole thing was Frankie Valli's character, never broke the fourth wall. So I wondered whether he was dead and hadn't had a hand in it. But then right at the end he does. And he's actually a producer on it.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
So
that's pretty awesome.
Yeah. So sometimes I wonder when the actual person being portrayed as a producer, whether it's a bit questionable as to how that character acts and how the other character acts, whether it's, again, from one person's perspective. Because one of the band members got in debt massively to the tune of like $1.5 million to the mafia. And then Frankie Valli worked for the rest of his life to pay off that debt for him.
So it's portraying him in a saint sort of.
Yeah, he was a martyr, and I'm sure that actually happened, but
they focused on that.
Yeah, it's whether or not it's entirely as clear cut as the film makes out. Yeah. Just because of his actual involvement, it makes me wonder. But it was a great film, and
it's definitely worth a watch.
Yeah, I would, and
if you like music as well,
the music's great.
Yeah,
the music is brilliant. You can't help yourself. And right at the end, people were kind of dancing about and clapping along and stuff. Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it was pretty cool because there's this big right at the end. There's this big bit where they do a medley, of a bunch of the songs, but it's the whole cast dancing down the street like you would get at the end of a musical.
Oh, bloody get euphoric and just thinking about it. But
it's great because Christopher Walken's there doing a little bit of dancing, and he was a song and dance man before he became an actor.
He was actually, wasn't he? He's in the Fatboy Slim video.
Yeah, and it's just great to see him doing that kind of stuff again.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Not that he gets any singing during the actual.
I can't imagine
because he's a mob boss.
Yeah, so it's a jukebox musical done right. Like I've seen We Will Rock You, and it is just about the songs. There's no story.
Yeah,
to
and
that.
It's the same. Like Mamma Mia is
very loose story.
Loose. And then there's this new one that's coming out, Walking on Sunshine.
Really?
It's out at the moment, and it's just 80s bubblegum pop.
Oh, okay.
But it's kind of Gemma Arterton is going on. No, it's Gemma Arterton's sister.
I don't know. Yeah.
Going on holiday, and it kind of opens. She's going through the airport, and the security guard's like, business or pleasure, and she goes, "No, I'm on holiday," and it breaks into that, and it's that kind of sugary, sweet bollocks.
Yeah. Well, Liz's uncle, through marriage, I think, he is actually a songwriter. Yeah. He wrote. Oh shit! What the fuck is the song? It's at the end of Something About Mary. I can't remember what it's called. It's not Stuck in the Middle with You. It's shit. I don't know. Whatever the song is, it's a very, very well-known song, and there was a remix done, a club remix done. I haven't
seen that.
Either way, he wrote that song. He's actually written a musical.
Okay.
Like using songs that he wrote.
Yeah.
He's taken a hand in writing. And so I'm quite interested to see that. It opened in Florida, I think, because that's where his family are. What is it? Build Me Up Buttercup. Yeah,
right.
He wrote that.
Oh, right.
He had a hand in writing that. Yeah.
Wow.
So he's actually. I think the musical's called Build Me Up Buttercup.
Okay.
So he's written a musical using all of his songs. Yeah.
Wow.
So I'm quite interested to see that. Especially if that's the last song where the whole audience join in and stuff like that. But yeah, he's Tony something or other, doesn't matter. But yeah, so that'd be interesting. But yeah, there's films to watch anyway.
Yeah, that was weird, a little film segment.
Nice tangent.
We had no
I don't know. Did you have new? I've got a couple of things. I've got a program that I watched the other night I wanted to talk about, but we've kind of covered a lot of.
Yeah, I mean, because talking about entertainment and stuff, a week and a half ago, we went up to London.
Yes, actually, we haven't spoken about it, have we?
Because we pre-recorded last week's episode, so we didn't get the chance to talk about it last week. But we went to see two of our heroes, I would imagine. Our
Yeah.
podcasting heroes, for sure.
Yeah. The pod god himself.
yes.
The actual pod god.
Yeah.
Not
Yeah.
an arsehole pod god.
Kevin Smith and Ralph Garman do Hollywood Babylon.
Yeah.
It was good, wasn't it?
I just remember that guy's name. Not that one, the one we were talking about earlier, Adam
yeah.
Carolla.
That's it.
Yeah, the Man Show. Anyway, yeah, Kevin Smith and Ralph Garman.
Yes.
It was Jay and Silent Bob's Hollywood or Jay and Silent Bob Hollywood Babylon
Yes. Yeah.
tour. Because it was Hollywood Babylon and Jay and Smith's Super Groovy cartoon.
Jay
and Silent Bob's Super Groovy cartoon movie.
Yeah.
And a Q&A at the end.
Yeah, because that's another film we've watched
I mean,
together.
it was quite
recently.
eventful even before we got there.
It
really.
was, wasn't it? I mean, we very nearly didn't get to it, did we?
Yeah.
You came to pick me up after work,
Yes.
and we drove down to Rochester train station.
We were running a bit late.
Yeah.
As we always
in a
do.
bit
So
of
we
a
were
rush.
rushing. I was rushing to pay the parking.
And I said, "You've got
you
the
were rushing.
tickets, haven't you?" And you got
I
out
pulled
an
them out the
envelope.
door. Yes, here they are.
Yep. And
Put
you
them
put them back. And then we got out. I went to get the tickets. You paid for the car parking.
I put the ticket back in the car.
Yeah.
I put the car parking ticket in the windscreen. We ran up to the train.
Yeah, because it was just there.
Just got on the train.
The train pulls out. 20 seconds later, we were talking about something.
I can't remember what it was. Something about, what time do the doors open?
Yeah.
I said, it says on the tickets which are in the car. Yeah. That happened.
Yeah, that was good. So the rest of the train journey was you.
I mean, it was the thing, if we'd gone... There's 2 routes the train takes.
Yeah. Oh, that was it. Yeah, because I was like, it's okay because it will stop at Strood and it's
Which
only
is the
like
next
a 10, 15 minute walk back. I mean, we could have power walked it in 10 minutes. I
Or
reckon.
jogged.
Yeah.
Nah, fuck that. Back to the car, got the tickets, got on the
Got
next
back
train
on the
to
next
London.
train and it would have been fine. We'd have been able to catch it. But it didn't go right to Strood. It went left and it didn't stop again for half an hour. Well, for about 10 minutes.
Another 10 minutes, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were on the fast train.
Yeah, we were.
The fast train to disappointment.
Yeah.
Yeah, that happened. So, the rest of the journey was I was looking on my phone desperately whilst every time we got signal because we kept hitting black spots
Yes.
going through valleys and things, which was a pain in the ass. Checking the website for the Apollo itself. How do we get our tickets? And they're like, that's cool. You just phone up, say you want more tickets to print, bring your ID and blah, blah, blah. If the tickets were brought for you by someone else, just have them give you a note to say that you give them permission to pick up the tickets and just hand it to us. That's cool. My mum brought the tickets for my birthday, didn't she?
We'll get a letter sent to the train, shall we?
Yeah.
The moving
fuck.
train.
So we can't do that. So then it was I was texting and phoning my mum and phoning the venue and trying to sort it out. And my mum got on the phone to the venue and they were like, yeah, it's fine. You just send him a text or something with all the information he needs, this information. Mm-hmm. And he just has to show it and that'll be fine. And we'll get the tickets printed and they'll be there. And we're like, fucking excellent.
Awesome.
So the tickets will be there for us when we get there. So that was relaxed. And we had about 10 minutes left on the train to just chat.
Yeah.
So we did an hour train journey. We chatted for about 10 minutes.
We were supposed to be doing a little kind of, not
bit of promotion
on the fly
work.
Recording as well. We were supposed to do a bit of that, weren't we? But
yeah, I had my camera with me, and we were going to interview some people and give them little
God knows why.
give them little business card bits of paper.
Yeah, which we're also in with.
Which were in the envelope with the tickets, so we didn't have the promotional.
Still in your car.
Yeah, they're still in the door.
Yeah, I kind of wish we'd been recording
that
because.
But I think you were a bit pissed off and annoyed.
You know how
biting
a
your
duck.
tongue.
You know how a duck is on the surface. And
Nice
you see
and
underneath
still.
the water and the legs are like...
That's quite a
That's
good
kind of how I
analogy.
was. Just under my surface, I was trying to break out of my own skin.
On the surface, no, it's fine. Text. You fucking arsehole. Whereas I was just I want to run and cry in a corner, but I've got to keep my cool
But
head.
you did well, and
We
you
did.
sorted it out, and it was all good, and we got to the ticket.
I will let you tell this part because you've got a funnier view on it. I was just I want to go and pick up my tickets.
Yeah.
I'll just go to the box office, pick
So
up my tickets.
we walked in past all the other fat, bearded men
in hockey jerseys.
in hockey jerseys
Oh my
that
God.
you never see anywhere.
As we were walking out the tube station, I went to Tom. Oh, by the way, be prepared for a lot of fat bearded
Because
men.
I've never been to a Kevin Smith event before.
Yeah,
so-
be prepared for a lot of fat bearded men. And we got into the box office and I had a text from Phil. We've spoken about Phil before.
Yes.
We had a text from Phil. This is 3 to 5 minutes after coming out of the tube station. Walked through the crowd. I went, see, I told you. got a text from Phil, went, "Oh my God, there's so many fat bearded men in hockey jerseys around." Like, that was brilliant.
Exactly the
It
same
was like
reaction.
perfect timing. But yeah, so we're in the queue for
So we're in the queue to get to the box office, and there's only a couple of people in the queue, and we get to the front, and utters the line that will now go down in history.
We need a T-shirt.
My mum said that my mum phoned a little while ago to say that I'd left my tickets at home.
Yeah.
Can I?
My mum
ordered
phoned an
some
hour
more.
ago.
And the moment the words "my mum" were uttered, my head fell into my hands. I turned around to the guy behind me and just shrugged, and he was like, "Smooth."
Yeah. My mum phoned an hour ago. A 29-year-old guy going out to the box office. My mum called an hour ago.
That's
In my
to be
defence,
fair,
she did.
Yeah, she did. And also, that's probably what they expect at a Kevin Smith gig anyway.
But yeah, to be fair. Not from a 29-year-old guy, I don't
No,
think.
and normally these people do actually live in their parents' basements.
Yeah, I don't.
you know.
So it's even
No.
more humiliating. But yeah, like I say, in my defence, my mum did phone out. I mean, how else am I going to say it? I mean, I could have said, "Oh, I've got some tickets to pick up."
Yeah,
They're in my mum's name.
yeah.
Because I don't work and she had to buy them for me, which isn't true at all. But and then the funniest part, so you had all that, like the 50 minutes on the train rushing, trying to get these. We need all this information. The guy goes, "Oh yeah, what name are they in?" So I told her, and she went, "Yeah, here you go."
Yeah, didn't need
Didn't
any
have to
of
show
the-
any
No.
information. Didn't need any order number. Didn't have to show any ID. Didn't have to give them like the text from mum. She went, "What was the name?" Told her. There you go.
There you go.
Brilliant.
Oh, cheers.
So we didn't need to panic
Yeah.
at all. Fuck me, it was eventful though. But the show itself,
The show itself was brilliant.
Hollywood Babble On,
really, really
was
funny.
really good.
Yeah, yeah. And then,
I mean, if you want to know about the film, read Tom's blog.
yeah, I posted a blog because I thought, well, it's a film I've seen.
Fairly
I
scathing,
I
wasn't
can
it?
write a blog about it. It's rubbish, isn't it?
Yeah.
I didn't enjoy it. It was the right room to watch it in.
Yeah,
And I tried
it was
to
a good
be-
experience.
I always try to be as balanced as possible with reviews, but if you don't like something, you don't like something, and you can try and find, you know, good points about it. And there were. It was funny in places.
If
and
you're a fan of Smodco podcasts,
yeah, like it's too.
there's lots of in-jokes.
Yeah, it's too self-referential to work on its own, but then it's not supposed to work on its own, is it? I don't think.
No. I think the thing is, if you can't take it as a Kevin Smith film at all.
No.
It's a
not.
cartoon. It's an adult cartoon.
It's based on
It's very juvenile.
a graphic novel set or a 3 comic series that he wrote off the back of Giant. Well, no.
Yeah, it would have been
Giant
Silent Bob Strike Back because it's got Bluntman and Chronic, isn't it? It's their origin story.
It kind of. Well, actually,
Well-ish.
the origins of it start out in Chasing Amy because Banky and Holden
Yes,
are
they're writing the
it,
comic, aren't
and
they?
then Jay and Silent Bob is about them going to Hollywood to stop the production of the movie and get their likeness rights. Isn't it? It sounds much more complex than it actually comes
It's
across.
not at all.
But yeah, so this is the cartoon version of the comics.
Updated to fit with the podcast. And unfortunately, I think it's fairly contrived, to be fair.
Oh, massively. I
I think that's the first time I've ever used that word in the right context.
And it wouldn't have worked outside of that room.
No.
I wouldn't have found it as funny.
Probably won't be buying it.
No,
At
I
all.
won't watch it again. It's, Ever. No. The animation is subpar.
Yeah. I mean, how is the art style compared to the comic?
It's completely different.
Yeah.
Yeah, the comic
It's
actually
Steve
looks
Stark,
like
isn't
a
it?
comic book. Like, they look like,
They're right proportions.
yeah, a little bit superhero-y.
Yeah,
but
well, yeah,
they look,
obviously.
you know, it's the proper art style.
There's a couple of moments that just bring you right out of the film. Where they
Yeah.
break the fourth wall.
Yeah.
Where Kevin Smith kind of comes in,
To
pops
try
into
and
the side.
save the fact that what Jason Mewes has created is kind of veering right off.
Yeah.
It
Well,
seems
he
like
wrote
he's
it though.
kind- yeah,
it's
I-
his
it's
words.
very strange,
So,
isn't
these
it?
are the words
Yeah.
of Bluntman or Chronic or the character of Jay. These aren't the views of us at all, of Smogco as a and it's just like...
Did you need that?
And so what was one of the words was all a lesbian needs is a dick.
Yeah.
And it's just like, and he comes in and says, these aren't the views of us at all. I'm actually quite funny, blah, blah, blah. I'd suck a dick. And this is the character of Jay. And it's like, it pulls you right out of the film.
And you're like,
and those those are supposed to be funny, those parts, and I did not find them funny at all.
And also, does anyone think that this is
real
to be taken seriously?
Yeah. It's a Kevin Smith film.
Yeah, and it's a cartoon, and it's got a bloke who's a giant ejaculating penis.
Yeah, with an Arnie voice.
Yeah,
and I didn't like the character, the voice for Cockknocker at all.
No,
I didn't think I would.
I didn't
and I
think
really
it
didn't.
was clever or subversive or anything. No. I think it's just
quite grating in that
they failed to get Mark Hamill.
Oh, he was busy.
Yeah,
I think
no. He didn't want to do it
because he read the script
and he realised that Star Wars was coming back and it would tarnish his reputation.
Yeah, it wasn't great. It was a good experience. It was the right room to watch it.
Yeah, like if
I'm
I'd
glad
have
I saw it. I'm glad we stayed to watch it.
Yeah, if I'd have seen that on my own at home, I wouldn't have carried through with it because like that there was a whole section in the middle for about 20 minutes where no one laughed.
No. And it's a 60-minute film.
Yeah.
That was a third of the film.
Yeah, the beginning is quite strong. The ending is quite strong.
Yeah, the first 20 minutes are funny.
Yeah.
Because they're very referential to the podcast and we understand the joke. And then you start trying to tell the story.
Yeah, then it gets grating.
And it's quite... like, start trying to tell how your story is.
And also repetitive.
Yes.
All the villains have the same thing happen to them. Yeah.
It's just terrible.
Yeah.
It wasn't great. I'm glad I stayed to watch it, but I'm very disappointed in the film, and I knew I wouldn't like it. When we got there, we thought it was going to be the film, the Q&A, and then Hollywood Babylon.
Yeah, so we were like, oh, God.
And we got there and we found out Hollywood Babylon was first, and we were like, we could go in like an hour and a half. We don't have to stay. And we almost did.
Yeah.
But we were like, you know what, fuck it, we're here. We might as well make a night of it.
The other thing that I had a gripe with was the level of volume that it was being played at.
Yeah, that's why the Cockknocker voice just grated on me, because it was so loud.
It didn't need to be that loud. You could have brought it down a couple of notches.
Yeah.
And it would have still worked.
But on the whole, though, fantastic night. I mean, Hollywood Babylon made up for it.
Yeah,
big time.
Sure. Yeah. It was worth the price of admission alone.
Yeah. So.
And,
it was a good night. I enjoyed it.
Yes, so did I.
It was quite good to have a night out with just us two as well.
Yeah. Sorry, excuse me. Yeah.
The look on your face is like, oh shit, I just did that into the good night, didn't I?
It barely happens that we get a night out or I burp into a microphone.
Brilliant. But hey, there you go. If you wanted to hear our review.
That burp summed it up.
Yeah, that was Hollywood Babylon. It was that juvenile.
No, it was great.
Not Hollywood Babylon.
No, the movie.
The film. And they don't even know the name of the film.
No, they never get it right.
They never get it right.
No. Jay and Silly Bob's
Groovy movie or cartoon movies, Supergroup.
Because the title's too long.
Yeah, it's not hard. It's a super groovy cartoon movie.
Yeah.
But they kind of get it all backwards and back to front. It was weird. And seeing a Squarespace ad at the beginning of the show was a bit odd.
But they've started playing those at the beginning of the...
it's because it's the live show, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, have they? Oh, okay. I don't listen to that anymore.
No, it's not worth it.
Oh, well. So
we've just trashed some of our favourite podcasters.
No, the podcast was great.
Yeah, the podcast was great.
The Q&A at the end we left halfway through because people were asking stupid questions that weren't interesting.
The same fucking questions.
I wanted to get up and ask a question, but there was no mic, so you had to shout it, so it wouldn't have been any point. And all I would have done was promote the Pod Pals.
Yeah, exactly.
That was what I was wanting to do.
Yeah, there were no mics. I kind of wanted to play Let Us Fuck, but then I don't think there was time for that.
No.
Because it massively overran.
I mean, hopefully they'll play, they'll actually release the Apollo...
The Babble On.
The Babble On podcast because
ones, aren't they?
We started a Garmy chant
too
early, but you should still be able to hear it.
Yeah.
When they're still doing the intro part. And then at some point it was during the Kim and Kanye.
Yeah.
During the Kim and Kanye story when they said about piercing the daughter's ears.
Yeah.
And you should, if you don't, I'd be surprised, hear Tom shout, "What a cunt," at the top of his voice.
I did that, didn't I?
And everyone turned to look at you. It's like me with my shout up in the intermission.
That's true. At least
I shouted at someone who had a t-shirt that I recognised. He didn't hear me. Every other fucker did. But hey.
It was a good night.
But yeah, when they released the Apollo one, you might be able to hear Tom shouting, "What a cunt."
And our little Garmy chant.
Or was it over the name of the Kidchella? It was
in
the Kim and Kanye story.
Bit, yeah.
It was hilarious.
I'm not the only one. The Irish and the Brums have done fairly well at their random shouting so far as well.
I don't know, news, I suppose, because that's kind of what we do, isn't it?
Yeah, we do, and we haven't been able to for a long time.
The way we're recording now as well. We're kind of on a fortnightly schedule with recording.
Yeah, and it's probably going to be the same again this week.
And the week after.
Because you're away next week, aren't you?
I've got a work due on the Sunday. It's a family fun day that you kind of have to do, really.
And then I believe I'm away the week after that. If it's not,
we've got
it's
the family
2 weeks later.
We've got the family fun day, and then we'll be recording again. And then I'm in Hertfordshire the week after that, and I think it's the week after that you're away.
Yeah.
So we're going to have to release 2 banked episodes. So at some point we're going to have to record another extra one, or just miss a week,
or do the snow banked one. Ironically,
in the middle of summer, we could do. If we don't get around to recording one, we'll do the
Who
snow
knows?
banked one. But we're on a fortnightly schedule. So this week we'll be doing current stuff. And then next week it will be a themed one, and then the following week it'll be current, and then it'll be themed. We're kind of going to try and do that so we can record Shiptie in transit. I mean, it's something we have to do it.
Yeah, we're on a schedule with that now, aren't we? So news. Let's see. I've got some music news.
Yeah.
I
don't think I've got anything music related.
Brian Johnson, singer of AC/DC, he's got himself an honorary degree.
Okay, not Testy, Brian Johnson.
No, not that one. From Northumbria University, he's been given an honorary degree in. He's been made a Doctor of Music.
Okay.
For his inspirational achievements, because he's from kind of the Gateshead area.
Yeah, and Brian Johnson is the guitarist.
The singer.
The singer.
Of
Okay, I don't know.
Yeah, he's the one who replaced the original singer back in 1980. After Bon Scott died quite tragically, didn't he? He went to sleep in his car in the garage because he didn't want to wake his parents, but he left the engine on because it was cold, and he died of asphyxiation. Utterly tragic,
that
horrible.
is.
But Brian Johnson joined the band in 1980s, and actually, I am not a massive AC/DC fan, but it's difficult to tell the difference.
I don't like AC/DC like as a favourite band, as in they're great. I mean, they are good
they're
musicians.
Brilliant.
But the songs are fun
Yeah,
rock songs.
yeah.
They are anthemic. They're
They're
stadium rock. They are hair metal.
Yeah. Before hair metal was a thing.
I don't consider them. I wouldn't.
I don't like them to look at.
No, they're annoying, aren't they?
I don't get why Angus Young has to dress up as a school kid all the time and stomp about the way he does.
Because it was his thing back then.
I know.
And he just kept doing it because it's a trademark thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's a shame.
Yeah.
It's like Slipknot with their masks.
Yeah.
But they kind of steer him away from that so much.
True. Because everyone knows what they look like now anyway, so what's the point?
And there was that whole thing about Slipknot, if they ever took off their mask, then the band would break up. And they took off their mask, they're like, well, we just said that.
Yeah.
It was not.
We made other bands anyway.
Yeah.
We didn't have masks on. He's been given that, and
That's cool.
Where is it? Professor Andrew Wolthy, who's the Vice Chancellor and Chief Executive of the University of Northumbria, said it's fitting that we honour one of our most distinctive voices in rock music, who is also a native of the Northeast. It's interesting to reflect on the importance of culture to collective life of the Northeast and of the cultural industries as a major UK export. So Brian Johnson is somehow interlinked with the UK industry.
Is he indeed?
Apparently.
Interesting.
He symbolises both of these things, and moreover has been an inspiration to generations of young musicians over several decades. So well done, Brian Johnson.
Yeah.
He's got an honorary degree as a Doctor of Music.
Okay.
Congratulations.
Yeah. Dr. Brian Johnson.
Yes. Sadder news. Tommy Ramone passed away.
Yeah, he was the last remaining founding member, wasn't he?
Yeah, the only one who hasn't passed away from... Well, it's interesting because 3 out of the 4 of them now have died from some sort of cancer-related illness.
Oh, really?
Tommy Ramone, he was 65. He outlived the other 3 members.
It's still not...
Still
not an old age at all, is it?
No, he was having treatment for bile duct cancer.
Oh, Jesus.
Which sounds quite
nasty. Horrific, doesn't it?
Back in 2004, Johnny Ramone died of prostate cancer. Joey Ramone died in 2001 of lymphatic cancer. And Dee Dee Ramone died in 2002 from a heroin overdose.
So he's the only
one who did the rock and roll.
He's the only one that died as everyone would have expected one of the
Ramone.
Ramones to die. Yeah, I mean, I've never been a huge fan of the Ramones. I understand what they mean to the punk scene.
People put them down as inventing punk rock, and I've never been entirely sure about it. They've got the look, and they had Blitzkrieg Bop, but some of their songs really aren't all that punk. They're kind of proto-punk to a point.
Then you got the argument punk isn't about the style of music, it's the attitude.
Yeah, which, to be fair,
is right.
Yeah. But I think the Pistols did it better, even though they were a worse band. Yeah. They made a bigger splash.
I mean, I'm going to be honest, I haven't listened to a lot of Ramones music, so I can't say I'm not a big fan, but, what I've heard is, it's all right. Yeah. It doesn't mean a lot to me. Like, we were way too... Not even born, to be fair.
Obviously, yeah.
When they were around, when they were massive. So it's... I understand and I appreciate what they did and the influence they've had on the punk scene. So, but...
I mean, what I didn't realise, he was actually an immigrant from Hungary.
Oh, really?
And he moved to America in the 1950s with his family. And he formed the band back in 1974 with some friends that he made at high school.
Does he actually give his real name?
Yes, his real name is...
I imagine it's Tommen, isn't it?
No, it's Erdely Tamas.
Oh, okay, yeah.
But they all decided to change their name to Ramone.
Because they were the Ramones.
They brought on...
Who was the only... Was there someone who was Ramone, called Ramone?
I don't know.
Oh, okay.
I'm not sure.
But
yeah, so they were going. He actually was only the drummer from 1970. Where's he gone? From 19. Oh, where's it gone? That's really annoying. I had it,
but not long.
No, only a couple of years, really.
I don't know.
1974 to 1978.
Oh, okay.
And co-produced the first 3 albums. And again, I'm not steeped.
So you don't know how long they were about, how many albums they had, so you don't know.
Like the Sex Pistols, I don't think they were around that long. I mean, the Sex Pistols were only really a band for a year.
Really?
Yeah, it was only 76 to 77.
Oh, okay.
And that's what I mean about them making a massive splash.
And they are one of the biggest.
Yeah, whereas I believe the Ramones went on into the 80s. Because they did Pet Sematary, which... Now, was that late 70s or was that early 80s? Again, whatever. But,
still,
65 years old, died again of another Ramone dying of cancer.
They were a massively important band. He was the last founding member.
Yeah.
So it's sad for the music industry.
Very important person. Yeah, Blitzkrieg Bop, probably one of their best known songs. Yeah. They did a cover of... The...
Here we go. The only other song that keeps popping into my head, and I don't know if it's Ramones, is I Want to Be Sedated.
Yeah, that's them.
That is them. That's the other song I know.
Yeah.
But they did a cover of something.
Gimme Shock Treatment.
I don't know. I don't think.
Which was covered later by Static X.
Oh.
It's a really well-known song. It was a Bond theme tune. I see trees of green.
Oh, yeah. Wonderful World.
Yeah, that's it.
Yes, I do know that. I do know that song.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Louis
Armstrong.
Yeah.
I see trees of green.
Yeah. So, yeah, that is very sad. I've got a... This seems like a death episode. So we've got...
I mean, but we're focusing on the,
I told you that I was going to do this, and it's like, do we want to do it? Yeah, kind of. But there was the whole... That guy got sentenced for killing his 5-week-old daughter because she wouldn't stop crying when he was playing Assassin's Creed 3. He got 8 years in jail, which is horrific.
He's from the southeast somewhere, isn't he?
I don't know. I don't really want to cover that story. We've all heard about that. But then linked to that story was this This is an anywhere but here story. Like really, there's a
Yeah.
couple. So games are a fun way past time, but it can also turn into an addiction in which it will make people do unthinkable acts. So you had that guy who was playing. Was it World of Warcraft or was it Dawn of the Ancients? He played for like straight 40 odd hours.
World of Warcraft, I believe.
And he died
Yeah.
of starvation and
Yeah.
dehydration
Yeah.
because he was sitting in his bedroom playing it non-stop.
He was Korean, wasn't he?
Probably.
I think.
Sorry, that was a bit racist, wasn't it? Probably.
Yeah, you know, that's what they do, isn't it?
Yeah. But so there was a couple in China, unmarried couple, that were so addicted to games that they actually sold off 2 of their children to child trafficking to pay, not for games, to pay for in-game items.
Oh my god.
So, you know, like the add-on items. So, you know, buy gold to buy, or buy
Yeah.
Simpsons, buy donuts to put a shot.
Oh
They actually
my
sold their children
God.
to pay for in-game items. The thing is it true because there are a couple in China with 2 children
Yeah.
and they're unmarried? So how legitimate is this story?
Yeah, and what's the website? Ubergizmo.com.
Yeah, but it was reported on Guangdong TV.
Oh, okay.
So it seems a young unmarried couple have been accused of selling off their 2 children to child traffickers with the money being used towards their gaming addiction. Now the one-child rule in China is still enforced, is it?
I believe so.
But you
'cause
can
it is
pay
still
a
kind
tax
it's
on your
still
second child, don't
vaguely
you?
communist. Yeah, I think so. Because
Yeah.
there was that story that came out of China last year, wasn't there, where some parent had put a baby down a pipe or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
it's
think
just,
they covered that, yeah.
it's pretty awful, isn't it?
Why do we talk about children dying all the time?
Well, I mean, this is just despicable if it's true.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, what kind of weird person? That's a serious gaming addiction.
yeah.
Like,
This is one of those things, it's like if they sold their child to be put up for adoption,
yeah.
like then fine. Obviously, they really shouldn't have children. They shouldn't be looking after children. So there's a chance that those children could be going to a nice place,
Yeah,
to a
I
nice
mean-
family that wants them. But there's also the dark side where they could go to
Yeah.
child labour or.
I mean, child trafficking is
But-
generally.
but it could be child trafficking, as in they sell them to these people who then go and sell them overseas to families who want to
Yeah.
adopt.
Yeah, I mean that process. I mean the word trafficking is
Does have a negative connotation.
Yeah, it's got that whole illegal thing.
It's highly illegal.
Yeah.
But it's not always necessarily sex trafficking. It's not always
No,
necessarily slave
no, you're
trafficking.
right.
It is.
No,
it
you-
could be for adoption.
yeah, you're
and I'm
entirely
going to
right.
take that view on it because
Yeah.
I don't like the
Let's
alternative.
hope so anyway. Yeah.
But it does make you go,
Why
what?
the fuck? What is so important about that game?
Yeah.
You know?
It's in-game items as well. It's
Yeah.
like in Team Fortress 2. It's hats.
Right.
Like just there's the look of it. I mean, it's horrific that people would do that. But I saw that and I was like, that's perfect for this. But hey, it is disgusting. It is terrifying
Yeah, it's horrific.
that people would do that.
In other ridiculous news,
Brilliant.
Scotland could be the base for a spaceport. Scotland could be the forerunner in the UK for planes going into space. I assume it's because they're up north, so they're closer to space than
Lots
we
of
are, aren't
space.
they?
Lots of space.
Yeah.
Like actual in terms of land.
Yeah. Yeah. Apparently, the Scottish ministers want to implement the first spaceport by 2018.
Now they're
It's
going
only-
for
They're going for independence, and
So-
they reckon that this is going to be their big thing because space tourism is going to be the next massive industry.
I ain't going up there.
I'm
I'd
interested
love
in
to,
doing
but I ain't
it, but
doing it.
Yeah, not for a while, not until it's proven.
Fucking
Because actually, it's not just tourism. It's they're planning on using these special kind of space jets. There are specific names depending on the company you're talking about.
Yeah.
Like Virgin's got one that they've got kind of mocked up. That there is an artist rendition.
Right,
It's
yeah.
got like a double tail fin and boosters and all sorts.
does look cool.
But effectively, what they can also do with these planes is fly cargo up there, and it's going to cost less than a shuttle launch because the amount of fuel used is less.
But it doesn't actually go to space, does it?
Yeah, it goes to the outer atmosphere, so
Oh, okay,
you
yeah,
can
so
then
it's the-
launch the thing in the direction of.
Just chuck it to
Yeah.
catch.
I believe so.
I mean, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, if they can get outside of the atmosphere, then they're in the low gravity area.
Yeah, I can't remember what it's called.
Yeah,
There's a
the ionosphere
yes,
or something, isn't it?
Something I don't.
I'm not big on my physics either.
Or space.
Spice.
That's come up way too many times the last week.
But yeah, so the Chief Secretary to the Treasury, Danny Alexander, says, I'm delighted that the government is pushing forward with its ambitious plans to open a spaceport in the UK by 2018. Spaceports will be key to us opening up the final frontier of commercial space travel. Mm-hmm. Final frontier. Yeah. I had to get that in.
Space, the final frontier.
Yeah. Scotland has a proud association.
Until we find something else.
Yeah. Scotland has a proud association with space exploration. We celebrated Neil Armstrong's Scottish ancestry when he became the first man on the moon.
Because Neil Armstrong has Scottish ancestry somewhere.
Yeah, probably 100 years before he was born.
We're going to take him. He's ours.
And only last week, an amazing Scottish company was responsible for building the UK Space Agency's first satellite, which was launched in Kazakhstan.
Because it's cheaper and there's nowhere to launch from yet.
The UK space industry is one of our greatest success stories, and I am sure there will be a role for Scotland to play in the future.
I mean, it is cool.
Yeah, it is, but it seems a bit desperate for Scotland that that's going to be their thing.
But like I say, there's a lot of land.
Yeah, and actually,
there's a lot of area for
you
them
look
to
at
do
the airports that they're looking for, because what they need is a runway of somewhere around 3,000 metres.
It has to be huge.
3 kilometres.
Yeah.
And the only one that is over 3 kilometres is in Scotland, but they've also got 3 others that are just around 2,500 to 3,000 metres. Whereas England has only got one down in Cornwall in Newquay. Wales has got one that doesn't even quite get to 2,500. So they are best placed because they have more land, like you say. There's more wide open spaces.
But I think it's more the fact that because they're going for their independence and they need to make up for the loss of funds somewhere.
Yeah, I mean, their problem is
they're still going to get free university from us, even if they're in... that's bollocks.
Yeah, I know. It's
absolute bollocks that we pay for their university. They want to be independent, but they want to keep the free.
It's crazy. It's absolutely insane. It's never going to work. I'm all for it. Go for it. See how you fare.
Everyone,
because they're going to have to. The thing is, the UN aren't going to just accept them straight away either. They're going to have to wait to get UN status for
it's
like
not
3 or 4 years.
Straightforward.
They're going to have to come up with their own currency. They're not necessarily going to go with the euro.
It'd be a good idea if they want to be part of the UN.
The Eurozone is going to have to accept them, but what are they bringing to the table apart from spaceports and what is left of the North Sea oil reserve?
Yeah.
Which is not a hell of a lot as far as I know, but a shale fracking. Which, as we know, is not a great idea, though I'm not going to go down that line because I don't want to sound like a mental, because I have my Facebook timeline eaten up with enough of them as it is.
Yeah.
Naming no names. But yeah, so they're going to be the forefront of space tourism and space
UK
industry.
Space tourism. It's
so.
Cool. Good on them. I mean, but it's going to be part of the UK Space Agency.
Yeah.
Which we get a part of.
Yeah. So it's going to,
cost us a lot of money.
It's not the Scottish Space Agency,
it's going to cost us a lot of money.
Yeah, precisely.
How well.
So that's a little bit of ridiculousness.
It's good. It's exciting, though. It's exciting.
It is, yes.
Space exploration, space tourism on a whole is exciting.
I hope it happens. It's the next logical step, isn't it?
It's going to be long. Actually, no, I think the first one's launching next year.
Oh, is it? Is it Virgin? Space plane. Because they've been the forerunners.
I can't remember what it's called.
Okay.
I can't remember who the first one is, but I don't think Virgin are going to be the first one going up.
Right. Okay.
But
interesting.
I think it's next year the first space tourism thing.
And another thing that hit social media this week was Steven Spielberg being photographed with his dying Triceratops from the set of Jurassic Park from back in 1993.
Is this on the things of something that happened years ago but has now circulated as
almost like fact?
Yeah.
Some people really need to not post things straight away.
I've read some of them. They're hilarious.
Because I mean, some of them are people mucking about.
Tongue in cheek.
You know how there have been spates of Chinese families posing next to a dead elephant that they've just killed and all that. Basically, people are looking at this picture and thinking that Steven Spielberg.
Yeah, but to be fair, the captions for them are
admittedly, a lot of them are genuinely like
tongue in
cheek. Like, for example, I just don't understand how people can be so heartless and hurt helpless dinosaurs. It's only in the last couple of 100 years or so that we've even started reconstructing their skeletons and discovering them, and now people want to make them go extinct again. Crying smiley.
Yeah, so that is.
But then there's another one here. That's a rant, a genuine rant, I think. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I'm not, and this is the thing, I'm not sure whether it's real or not. This person has put this quite large diatribe. He's a disgusting human prick. I'd love to see these hunters be...
That's English person. That's got to be an English person for using the term prick.
I'd love to see these hunters be stopped. I think
He's not English.
I think zoos are the best way to keep these innocent animals safe. Arseholes like this piece of shit are going into these beautiful animals' home and killing them. It's no different than someone coming into your home and murdering you. That's what's so selfish about PPL, that they're hunting uneducated and their way of thinking is, well, these animals are overpopulating and are going to die anyway. Well, human beings are overpopulating, and guess what? If we were to kill an innocent human being and use that as an excuse, we'd be in prison. I think it's time to say the same thing about animal rights. Steven Spielberg, I'm disappointed in you. I'm not watching any of your movies again. Animal killer. I don't know whether it's
that
a joke.
the last part about Steve being aware of who he is. But I love the fact that he said uneducated. Yeah. And if it is real, he's accusing Steven Spielberg of being uneducated, and he's taken that as fact, like he killed the dinosaur. But it's that last bit.
Yeah, it's the last bit. This is the thing.
If it was done in an ironic way, it wasn't constructed very well.
Yeah, it's made kind of internet news, and I don't see why, because it's kind of blowing it out of proportion in a way. Because most of these are genuinely like.
I think the caption that comes with the picture's brilliant about like this hunter posing.
Yeah.
Like that is funny. That like, somebody did that was very funny. But...
Yeah, and then some people like that take it a little bit too far.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
That's the thing. If it's a genuine reaction, they're a complete fucking retard.
Yeah.
Sorry, I shouldn't use that word.
No.
But if they're trying to make a joke, they've not done it properly. I don't think.
Brilliant though.
Yeah.
Hey.
Yeah. But congratulations to whoever posted it first. It had his name here, Jay Branscombe.
Was it on Reddit by any chance?
Facebook.
Oh, really?
Yeah, believe it or not. One of these actually originated
Bloody
from Facebook
hell.
rather than Reddit for a change. So yeah, there's that.
That's funny. That's like when you see the people who believe the Onion articles.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
One of my cousins once reacted to something. I can't even remember what it was now. It's really annoying. But I couldn't not
tell them,
slap him down a couple of pegs, and was like, first off, look at the date of the article. It was like 2011. Yeah. And secondly, it says further down that it's a satirical website. Yeah. Get your facts straight. Don't just be like, because he was like on a proper rant about whatever it was that was in there, and it's like, it's not real. It's not
real, you idiot.
Read it properly.
Oh well.
Get an education.
Yeah.
So for I think we've covered quite a range of topics.
Yeah, I'm quite surprised we managed to cover most of it. There was only one thing left that I didn't cover, but I can do that next week.
Yeah.
If no, have to be the week after maybe.
We'll see whether it fits in.
Yeah, good. No, it won't.
Awesome. So for episode 77 of Anywhere But Here this week, I have been Tom.
And I've been Rant.
Bye.